his fate if there's peace. But he has tremendous political pressures put on him because of the hostage situation. But the people who are arguing for, the political conditions to be created that allow for the release of hostages, they're not people supportive of a two-state solution or they're not pro-Palestinian. They're just frustrated that the hostages are still out there. So once the hostages are released, what's the next step for Netanyahu? Does he really want peace? And there's plenty of opportunity for him to make mischief on this as well. And we still don't know if Hamas is going to live up, but I think Hamas, let's just take a step back. The counter proposal that Hamas put out there that Trump endorsed is pretty much what Hamas has been saying all along. There's no major deviation. There's no oh my God, this happened. A government of technocrats, inclusive of Fatah, Hamas will accept it as long as Hamas has a presence. And the president didn't say no.
So what really happened during Israel's latest strike? Was this attack meant to weaken Iran or provoke it? When Scott Ritter says Oreshnik moment, what does he mean by that? Is it like a turning point in a war? Has Israel finally crossed a line that could change the balance of power in the Middle East?
Israel's going to lose that war, straight up lose that war. And that's why the Iranian president, when he spoke to journalists last week, I guess, in New York, I had the honor and privilege of being there to listen to him and ask some questions. He was confident. I didn't see a scared man. I didn't see a worried man. I saw a man who, was serious, very serious, and very confident in the strength of his nation and the strength of his government. He said they could try decapitation if they wanted to. He says, there's 6 of me. He said, you kill me, we got one already picked. You kill him, we got one already picked. We go down 6 layers. You can't kill us all, and we're all on the same side. That was the one message that came across, because one of the things that, appeared to be trying, that the West and Israel have been trying to do is fracture Iran. Get Iran to break up in constituent parts based upon ethnicities, etc., to break the Azeris away, to break the Kurds away, to break the Arabs away, the Baluch, etc., even to fracture the Persians among tribal lines or economic lines. And the Iranian president said that there were some serious fractures in Iran. He said he sort of was honest. He said, we made some mistakes. He talked about women like I've never heard an Iranian leader talk about before, about how, we have gender issues that have to be addressed. I think that's why we're seeing photographs today of women running around Tehran without hijabs on, because I think the Iranians are going, this is an artificial problem we don't need. We need, we can pacify a good percentage of the population if we just say no to hijabs. And he said, we're doing that. We're re-looking how we deal with gender issues, the whole thing. But he said, the 12-day war, he said, there's no more fractures. He said, Iran has come together like it's never come.
I have some questions. Do I agree with Ritter's take? Partly yes, but is he overstating the things? Could this conflict spiral into a full regional war involving Iran, Lebanon, and maybe even Russia? Or will both sides eventually be forced into a ceasefire once the costs get too high? What does this mean for global stability, especially with the elections and shifting alliances? Clarify please these questions.
together for. People were trying to take advantages of differences of opinion between the government and the supreme leader. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for all you people out there saying, well, wait a minute, it's a theocratical dictatorship. If the supreme leader says so, it must be so. No, so. Actually, Iran is far more complicated than that. There's got a parliament that was elected by the people. They got a constitution. There's things that happen. And the president is actually very influential and very powerful, by the way. And yes, there were differences between the president and the supreme leader. Not anymore. He says they are on the same sheet of music. Everybody is marching to the same tune. Anybody that thinks they're going to, take advantage of Iran and break it up needs to think again. And this is why I don't think there's going to be a war, because one thing I learned about the Israelis is they can have the worst policy in the world, and they do, but they're not stupid. They're not stupid about the world they live in. And the Israelis have deep insights into Iran, deep insights. And they may have, look, anybody who is intimately knowledgeable of Iran, I don't want to put you in a spot, but would you, before the 12-day war, I bet you had, I would bet a dime to a dollar that you saw fractures between the Iranian president and the leadership, and you were seeing fractures in Iranian society, a lot of criticism towards the.
I have some questions. Ritter says Israel underestimated Iran. Is that true? Has Israel lost its ability to project power the way it used to? Does this prove that Iran's deterrence strategy actually works? Is Ritter exaggerating, or are we seeing the first cracks in the IDF? What evidence supports Ritter's claim that Israel is in ruins? Would the US be quietly signaling that it won't back Israel in every move? When Ritter compares this to Russia's Oreshnik movement, is he implying Iran has reached military party? Is Israel facing a crisis of overconfidence? Does this mean the IDF's high-tech advantage is losing relevance in modern hybrid warfare? Let's analyze the statement. Yeah.
The Iranian president coming from the parliament, you saw that. I saw that. And I wasn't dismissive of it. I don't think you were either, because it's reflective of reality. And, it creates uncertainty. The Israelis saw the same thing. So you can't blame the Israelis into believing that if they could facilitate certain actions inside Iran, that Iran was susceptible to fracturing. But those same people now, look, Iran's been super glued together. And I mean, this is high quality super glue. It ain't going away. And the Israelis know this. The Israelis aren't very good at self-deception. They do things because they are confident in outcomes. They're willing to lie about things. They're willing to commit crimes. But underneath, the Israelis, at the end of the day, are realists, very much so. And I think the realists who are advising Netanyahu about Iran are telling him and telling the Mossad leaders, Mossad's very well plugged into Iran, saying the conditions that we were hoping would manifest themselves during the 12-day war back in June, they no longer exist. In fact, if we try, it's going to backfire on us. So Netanyahu says a lot of things for political reasons.
Let me ask about some questions related to military and strategic impact. First question is, how much real damage did this attack cause on both sides? Are Israel's air defense systems falling against Iran's newer missiles? Has Iran's drone program finally outpaced Israel's countermeasures? Could cyber warfare and intelligence leaks be weakening Israel's internally? Is the IDF overstretched, fighting on too many fronts at once? How has public opinion inside Israel shifted since the attack? Could the loss of intentionally sympathy hurt Israel's military funding or arms support? Is this the first time Israel is genuinely on the defense rather than the offensive? Yeah, explain these questions, please.